What's up, Internet? My name's Nerdy Nightly.
And I'm Clarus.
Yeah, that's right. This is Avatar, Episode 4, Into the Dark. Into the Unknown.
Yeah, I went there too.
We were not huge fans of Episode 3, but I liked Episode 2 quite a bit. So
Yeah.
I have hopes that it was a minor, momentary detour from the show that I thought was headed in the right direction.
Yeah.
We'll see. Episode 4, come on. Let's go meet Bumi. Let's do it.
Oh,
if you
boy.
want that full-length reaction, go to patreon.com/nerdynightly. But if you don't, stay here. Because you know what? You're already fucking here. So just buckle your seatbelt down. And
Buckle your seatbelt down.
Buckle your seatbelt down.
All right.
What do you think will happen to us?
I don't know.
That was funny.
No. Just minor designs. Nothing of any value in war.
Anything can be turned into a weapon in the wrong hands.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Changed clothes so fast.
He just needed the
Cool.
last piece.
Yeah. It's a strong start to the episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great setup for hopefully what we see next.
Danny Pudi brings it in this part.
Huh?
Danny Pudi's, like, as the mechanist.
Oh, yeah.
I thought he, like, really sold that scene so well.
Mm-hmm.
That was a strong beginning.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be a badger mall. You sure? You could show him this isn't the way. He'll listen to you. I mean, he owes you that much.
On the contrary, it is I who owe him.
That is not okay. You can't just casually play that song.
What song?
The song Iroh sings. Flowers from the Vine, is that what it's called? Bum, 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 bum. Oh, wow.
Yeah, I don't remember how that
Goosebumps.
song goes.
Tunnels?
The secret tunnels. We're under the mountain.
Even if I could figure out a way to get them through the tunnels, there's nothing I can do about the palace guards.
We'll worry about that. Just help us get inside.
Everything in the animated show happens in Omashu now.
Yeah.
The pit?
An Earth Kingdom labor camp for prisoners of war. No one who's been sent there has ever been heard from again.
I love that they gave Iroh his own exposition there.
You're going to see the king.
That dude has piercing eyes.
Yeah, wow.
The Avatar has returned to the world. It's time to stop hiding.
If you had the Avatar.
The Avatar that is currently in chains.
The savior of the world. He is the Avatar.
I kind of love him.
Hello, Aang.
Bumi! How are you still alive?
What idiot told you to put pine bark in it?
You did.
Throw him a feast.
God damn it.
The numerous emeralds in the set really made it seem like I was like, oh, it's the Emerald City. We've gone to Oz.
Yeah.
Bumi's great. He's funny.
He's something.
Look at the power you have. That's because of me.
That wasn't you. That was me.
Where did that come from? That was a great scene.
Yeah.
I didn't know that she could just freeze.
She can't. I mean, she did this in the animation.
Really? I do not remember that.
Yeah, she has like ice powers. That's a big thing.
The king wanted to see him. Well, you're just gonna stand there? What are you gonna do?
What a weird question.
Yeah.
Like, which one were you sent for?
Yeah.
I don't eat meat.
That's right, you don't.
He's so mad about it.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Challenge accepted.
This can't be right.
This was the only opening in the mountain.
So are we gonna do another secret tunnel bit later? Or is this the secret tunnel?
It seems like this is it.
Find yourself in darkness.
Yep, it's it.
Lies buried deep inside.
Shake it.
So dig up.
I can't stand when they don't match the fucking vocals.
Jewel of my heart.
I'm just... Are these people trying to break into the palace?
That was all kinds of right. So what are you doing here?
What are we doing here? What are you doing here?
It's a great question.
Why are you doing it here? Acoustics.
Fair. You know what? Fair.
Here's the thing. The singing would sound a lot better if you imitated the actual acoustics of the speaking voices that we're hearing.
Harmony, music, love.
But then they'd have to record vocals live in the room. That's hard.
Or add some fucking echo on it or something. I don't know.
Omashu met on top of the mountain that divided their two villages. The villages were enemies.
This is beautiful.
Yeah.
They built elaborate tunnels so that they could meet secretly.
This is really fucking well done.
Yeah, this looks sick.
Devastated, Shu wielded her earth-bending power to bring the villages to their knees.
We love a lesbian love story.
Especially if you're going to go into the dark void from which no living being ever returns.
Where are the acoustics?
Secret tunnel through the mountains. Secret, 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 secret.
Tunnel, 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 tunnel. Yeah. They could have zhuzhed that vocally.
That's what I mean. It sounds
Could have been a bit
so
bigger, yeah.
flat in a studio. And
But
then
the
this,
way
like,
they
big
handled
cave.
that, well done.
The armor looks sick.
Yeah.
I'm fine. Thank you.
It means you should be careful where you step.
It's a test. That was good.
And maybe I just wanted a bite of rock candy.
That shit's edible? That is probably why his teeth are so fucked up.
Yeah.
Where are they? Considering they set up Omashu as being locked down tight,
Yeah.
everyone is just coming and going from Omashu like crazy.
Yeah, they've definitely left the city. Whatever prison this is, has to be outside.
Oh, I think, yeah. I just wish it weren't, like, it is tough to follow where people are right now.
Love is all you need. Love makes the world go round.
Now you're listening to the minstrels?
I guess they have the Beatles.
My problem is you're not taking me seriously.
You met a woman.
Sokka's right again. What are they doing?
I don't know.
And you don't get to just ignore me.
I can't if you're being an idiot.
Dad put me in charge.
You're not Dad.
There's the echo.
Found it. All right, Katarra, what's your brilliant idea then?
Like, that scene works, right? Like, I think that, like, emotionally, the play between them is good there.
Yeah.
It's just tough that they keep shitting on Katarra by having her be so upset that someone else is right when they are right. Like,
yeah, I know. Because I understand, like, the sentiment of the scene and everything, but yeah, it just...
But it's 2 episodes in a row where Sokka's like, oh, I figured it out. And Katara's like, no!
Yeah.
War pushes us to the edge. Some of us don't like what we find there. You have no humanity. You know nothing of loss.
That scene fucking rocked.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was fucking great. That was some good shit.
Well done.
Good acting. I like the writing.
Yeah.
So, his son dies a hero and he'll be forever known as a coward.
This show really wants to just use exposition to...
What a great honor for you and for Lieutenant to die in the service of the Fire Nation.
Oh, Zuko. These outfits are dope.
Yeah.
Like, he looks incredible.
Well done.
That fucking rocked!
Yeah.
That was great!
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm peeking the mic. That was awesome. Wow.
That was
Paul.
very well done.
Fucking man. Great, I'm crying.
And Zuko, like...
Yeah, it was great. That was a great scene.
Mm-hmm.
You believe that?
I don't know. But it was nice to hear someone tell me I had something to offer the world. Besides my superior fighting skills.
And Suki wanting that dick?
You led the tribe and protected us with nobody to help you. Dad never had to bear that kind of burden alone.
Also, I'm right about that.
Look at the glowing things.
The crystals were just crystals. Like I thought.
No, you just have...
You just can't bend.
Yeah.
We were here before, but this wall wasn't.
How is that possible?
It's not.
The
tunnels are changing.
Secret tunnel!
It's all about games with you, isn't it, Avatar? Who cares about responsibility?
That's like a criticism of the animated version of Aang that doesn't apply to this version of Aang.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
This Aang doesn't play games.
No, he's like trying really hard.
That criticism works in the animated show because it is about the fact that Aang gets out of the ice balls, like, let's play with penguins, let's go sledding, let's do these things. But this Aang doesn't get to do any of those things, so criticizing him for playing around doesn't make any fucking sense. He's just been like, go, we gotta do the thing.
He like ran into a wall by accident once.
Literally.
To the death.
Armpit hair. Whoa! Here we go!
Okay.
This is crazy. How can tunnels change?
I knew the crystals were wrong.
You are in the fucking Earth Kingdom. Ah, that's fun.
Wow, these war animals are not trained very well. In a war against the Fire Nation.
To be fair, they don't seem to be very good. Granted, Zuko is like pretty great, but
yes, for sure.
The flaming chain whip, pretty cool. Don't.
All right. Can't wait for this roller coaster at the Avatar themed park.
Well, Secret Tunnel just jams out the whole.
So they respond to love? How do you think they do with verbal commands?
I guess holding hands is love.
They were about to die, you know?
Yeah. Some of us have to fight even when we don't want to. That's what it means to be in a war!
I just love how his face is so wrinkly, but like his chest is like perfect, like 20-year-old skin.
Oh, yeah. He moisturizes,
Yeah.
but only from the neck down.
Yeah.
You were the Avatar, and you left us.
Again, it's a criticism that works in the anime
Yeah.
because Aang left.
Yeah.
He ran away, but in this he went for basically went for a jog and it went wrong.
Yeah, pretty much.
You know what I mean?
The
Like,
equivalent
it's-
of going out for milk and never coming back. Like
changing that one thing changes every conversation that they have with Aang in the show in a way that makes it weird.
Yeah, I agree. It does make it weird. Because Aang's sitting there being like, I really like didn't. Like
Yeah.
But he's just not saying anything.
Well, and it's forcing Aang to just not talk in any of these conversations.
Exactly.
And so he just stands there looking sad about it.
Yeah, it's like a very one-sided conversation.
And the weird thing is just having him run away because he's scared would have been fine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
There was
Like,
no reason to change it.
Who gets the last of the food scraps, the orphanage or the soldiers? You have to make choices like that day after day.
He's not wrong.
Yeah.
Let's go. Why did the tunnels lead to this room?
Remember this? I use it to call a friend. That's what I'm gonna do now. Call on an old friend.
Oh yeah, where is Appa?
Appa is not a character in this version of the show. Appa is a mode of transportation.
He's just chilling somewhere. Probably in the generic forest that everything else happens in.
Like, I doubt they'll do the Appa gets kidnapped kind of thing, because Appa has no personality or anything like that.
Well, no, they'll do it because it saves them on CGI. They'll do it for like a season.
Oh my god.
What are you doing here, Uncle?
Same as you. Getting ready to embark on what is sure to be a memorable journey.
I don't need a babysitter.
How about a friend?
Okay. 3 times.
Everything I need is on this boat. Like I said, all the tea I need.
They're so good together.
Yeah.
Like, they're just really good scene partners.
Yeah, fucking. Well done.
Yeah. Interesting. Wow, they were really like, you know that one song from Avatar that makes you weep?
I mean, you know, they are clearly trying to use iconic stuff. Which
yeah. Mm-hmm.
I understand. We got cabbages, we got a secret tunnel, we got the song, we got, you know.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I definitely think that like that episode was much stronger in my opinion than episode 3.
I agree. I think that the things that didn't work about this episode are just the things that were set up in previous episodes by the show for the most part.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But all of these scenes with Uncle Iroh, with Zuko, and the Earthbender soldier, like immaculate, like really well done.
I think that what's so fascinating about the show right now, in terms of the division of labor of the narrative, is that you have the main 3, right? Katarra, Sokka, and Aang, who are in a little bit of a way speed running elements of the animated show, and so in their plot line, and I'm going to say that Zuko and Iroh are about 35% of the show right now. Right? In the 65% of the show, that is the other 3.
Yeah.
They are jamming shit in. We're doing Mechanist, Secret Tunnel, we're doing Bumi, we're doing this, we're doing a jet. We're squeezing all of that into their 65% of the show.
Yeah.
And so their parts of the show can feel a little disjointed and convenient things happen. Like the Secret Tunnel goes right into Bumi's room for some reason at the end, right? But the Zuko and Iroh stuff is a very straightforward narrative that doesn't feel like it is very fast-paced. It feels kind of like they're going through their beats.
Yeah.
And they're going through a story that has some flashbacks that are relevant to both characters.
Yeah.
They have an actual relationship to one another as characters.
Yeah.
And so they are... that part of the show is working a lot better for me right now.
Yeah, it's got room to breathe.
Then Katarra and Sokka trying to kind of... we gotta get Secret Tunnel in there.
Yeah.
So we're gonna just do it now. It just happens. And it doesn't mean as much because it's just not as important here.
Yeah.
Because it's the least important part of this episode.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Like there's just that weird element of these other parts of the show at the moment are just a little bit more focused, and so I feel like they're a little bit stronger. Whereas the main 3 are doing a lot. But at the same time, this episode I really liked Bumi's point of view.
Yeah, I think Bumi was handled very well. I thought the actor did a good job. I think
it's an insane thing to ask an actor to do, and I thought it wasn't nearly as cringy as it could have been, right?
Yeah.
It could have been a disaster, and it wasn't. I think he really worked, which is a credit to that actor, because that's a tough...
Yeah,
it's
that's
tough.
a weird one.
Yeah.
That's a weird one. I think he did a great job. I think even the emotional stuff between Sokka and Katarra worked really well. Even if, like you said, they're trying to cram so much that the pacing of their plot feels a little bit off. The emotional beats were good. The scene that they had was down there was great. They kind of keep shitting on Katarra a little bit, but again, the things in this episode that I didn't love suffered because of things that have been established in previous episodes. So as a whole, by itself, I think episode 4 might be my favorite so far. I think
it's my favorite so far as well.
I think it was very strong.
Yeah. And I really do think that the Iroh stuff is what sells it. I think that
pushes it over the top for sure.
The flashback with Zuko, in the white outfits at the funeral, that scene is, I think, the strongest scene in the whole show so far.
Yeah.
I really, really thought it was staged immaculately. I thought the way that Ozai presented himself, the way Zuko initially presents himself and then switches over, leading up to the single tear from Iroh. I just thought that scene...
He got one from each eye. It was beautiful.
Yeah, that scene to me is what's so tough for me right now about Aang, is that Aang is being a little bit plot devicey at the moment. I don't get a lot of personality from him, and I don't feel like he's spending enough time with Katarra or Sokka.
Yeah.
For him to... They're not really building relationships between them, weirdly.
Yeah.
Aang
and that's the problem, is it's too fast, like you said. They're trying to cram everything in.
Yes. I want time where they become friends, right? Yeah. But Aang in episode 1 is being hunted by them. In episode 2 spends most of the episode with Kyoshi.
Yeah.
In episode 3 has more interaction with Zuko.
He has moments where he tries to teach Katarra waterbending, and that's it.
And that's kind of it, right?
Yeah.
And then this episode, they're not with each other until the end. And then Aang makes this big declarative statement about his friends. And I'm just kind of we haven't gotten to see them be friends, really.
Yeah.
They've only had a couple of scenes together at this point. We're 4 episodes into the show.
Yeah.
Because every episode they're like, oh shit, there's like 3 episods of the anime that we have to squeeze into this.
Yeah, we gotta get a fucking move on, and it's taking a toll for sure.
It's taking a toll on their relationship.
Yeah.
I would rather more iconic stuff from the animated show get cut in favor of Aang, Sokka, and Katara scenes than the other way around.
Yeah.
I would rather have, because their friendship right now is, I think, the thing that has been the least developed.
Mm-hmm.
And part of that is that Katara hasn't been centered in any of the scenes between the 3 of them.
Yeah.
She's always, except when they're like both like, well, you're dumb. You know what I mean? Like when they're both kind of like, Katara, what are you doing? Jet's clearly he's a terrorist. Like what the fuck? And she's like, yeah, but Sai's also a traitor. And it's like, yeah, okay, that's true, but also,
yeah.
Also, I don't know that the love moment works as well for me between Katarra and Sokka, but that's, you know, if they wanted to do it here, they had to do it here, and I get that.
Yeah.
Because, you know, Aang's not there, and it is what it is, right? It is a symptom of taking something that has a huge meaning in the animation and having it happen with different characters at a different point in the plot where it just doesn't mean as much.
Yeah, it is one of those weird concepts as well, where it's like, did they suddenly stop being afraid that they were gonna die?
Well, and like, did they remember their brotherly sisterly bond then, and not when they had a great conversation and apologized to each other earlier?
Oh yeah, true.
Like I didn't like, if the apology had happened as they were about to die, I'm so sorry, no, I love you, but, and then the Badgermole had stopped, I would have gotten it. But the Badgermole was like, I cannot see, but they held hands, so that means.
Yeah.
And I just, the structure of the love tunnel scenes is a huge departure from what it meant in the original, but also like didn't establish for me what it meant for this version. Katarra and Sokka are brother and sister. I know that they love each other.
They tried to pull a Frozen.
Have they stopped loving each other at some point and they found it again in that final moment, even though they'd already like before they even meet the Badger, they've already made up and said their apologies and are good.
Yeah.
Right? Like they've already done the emotional work. So
yeah.
Is it that it like takes time to get through the pheromones into the air?
Yeah, it's one of those weird things where I think the writers had a concept that they poorly executed. Like a potentially good concept that was poorly executed because
it works in the animation.
Yeah, because about the timing of it, like they were trying to. I don't know. Yeah, wasn't great, but
this happens. The secret tunnel happens significantly later in the animation. Like this is pulling from like future stuff. So
isn't that like end of season 2?
I can't remember when exactly it happens.
I don't remember,
but it is pulling it very, very, very early. And so I don't know. I think some of these choices are interesting. I think
visualization of the story of
that was gorgeous.
That was great. Fucking love that. Yeah, well done.
But yeah, it is so fascinating to me right now how that initial choice to have Aang not run away, but have him be like, I just need to go clear my head.
Yeah.
Is impacting so much of the show for me. It is having this massive outsized impact on my ability to enjoy this because it just so fundamentally changes his guilt.
Yeah.
In a way that I genuinely don't understand.
I don't get why they changed it.
And it's one line, but it changes everything.
It doesn't even, if you didn't even want to put the line in there, you could have Aang like packing a bag. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, but we're gonna go away for a bit, you know, like not like, oh, I can't sleep, so I'm gonna go for a midnight walk. Like that's what it was.
It is so wild to me because it impacts every scene that kid is in for me.
Yeah.
Because every time someone points at him and it's like, you ran away, he doesn't go,
he doesn't say anything.
I didn't. I got caught in a storm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that is what happens in the anime, but he intentionally leaves.
Yes.
He's running away from his responsibilities.
Yes.
And here he's like, I accept my responsibilities, but I need to, it's just so strange. And it is the change to this show that is weighing the heaviest on me.
I agree.
Because then Bumi's having that conversation, and Bumi's not wrong, except that he is because he doesn't know what happened.
Yeah. Everyone's just like assuming, and Aang isn't bothering to say anything for some reason. Like,
Which is, so he's just silent. And so you just have your main character being silent in these scenes. Yeah. Just like watching people talk at him.
Because he's not arguing that he didn't run away, but he's also not trying to justify himself because he didn't run away. Like, he can't say anything. And
so he just isn't. He just doesn't have dialogue in these scenes. It's very odd.
Yeah.
I also think I've seen the like criticisms of the show from other people who are saying that it's very exposition heavy. And
I feel that.
It is, like, sometimes it is comical.
Yeah.
Like, in the last episode, it was the food cart guy that, like, walked by and was like...
And this episode,
was the two people at the funeral.
I was like, wow.
Being like, literally, they have just spoken to Iroh. They are walking away from him after speaking to him at his son's funeral. And before they've left the room, are like, and now we will talk about the exposition of what this scene is about because the audience won't know. And I was just kind of like, those things, I'm just like, we would have figured out it's a funeral.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
there's a fucking casket. You know what I mean? Like, I think we can...
Yeah, and you just don't need to have two people in the foreground who we do not know, who are not important. Just straight up just say the plot to the audience.
Yeah, that was weird.
So that criticism that I've seen from a lot of people that I was like, oh, maybe this might be unfounded. Like, how it's...
I get it.
It's a lot. It is a lot of exposition.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's a lot of exposition of, like, last episode. And I'm like, yeah, we saw episode 3.
Yeah.
This didn't even come out week to week. This all came out at the same time.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So on some of those technical levels, I think that the show could definitely be better in season 2. But the show, honestly, like, it's not a disaster. I didn't like episode 3, but, like, the show...
Episode 3 was a little bit of a disaster, but, like...
Even at the end of episode 3, though, I said, my opinion is that they have all the pieces to make a good Avatar show. And this episode really sold me on that. I think Zuko is awesome. Mm-hmm. He is the... Of the young cast, I think he is doing the most work. I think that he is really crushing it.
Yeah.
I think that Paul, I mean, look, I know Paul in real life. We know Paul in real life. He is one of the best people on the planet. Yeah. I'm not shocked that he is also remarkable in this, right? I think that the potential for Aang is there.
Yeah.
I think that if they're willing to let Sokka not be the best, that Ian Oosley can do it. And honestly, there was a little bit more spunk from Katarra here, so I'm like excited to see where that goes.
Something I forgot to mention was the scene with Jet. I think I mentioned it in the moment, but that felt like a little bit more of what I wanted from her as a character, and like that was a breath of fresh air. I was very happy with that. I
agree with you.
Even though I don't remember the ice thing being from. And that's just me. I fully recognize.
It's gonna be important later, so I'm glad that you're reminded of it.
No, which is it's been a while since I've seen the animated show once.
Yeah.
In 2020, and the details are fuzzy.
Yeah, I liked a lot of this episode. I'm impressed. I really liked the Earthbender who's like upset, about the war. I thought that was a nice touch.
Iroh was great. Yeah. Well done. I like this episode. It was a huge step up. So thank you for that.
I have no idea how Zuko found them, but.
Well, yeah, that's we don't even know where that is in the world. The map doesn't make sense.
They literally could have just had Zuko run into them on the streets outside of Omashu.
No. But there's a forest inside of Omashu, and we just need to.
No. That's in the woods outside of Omashu.
Well, I know it is, but
here's the thing.
How are people getting in and out?
This is the structure of that scene, okay? Zuko, who is in Omashu, sneaks through the gate, right?
Yeah.
Gets outside of Omashu, assaults an Earth Kingdom guard.
That they're very strict about.
A gate, okay, but he assaults the Earth Kingdom guard of 8 people who do not notice that one of the 8 of them disappeared in the fucking woods. He gets back. So he immediately goes back into Omashu. Sneaks into the Royal Palace dungeon, talks to one guy who's like, so what are you going to do? He then leaves Omashu again.
Yeah.
As much as I like the Firebender story, and I think it is probably the strongest narrative of this show.
Yeah.
The moment to moment of that is fucking insane.
No, you can't. You really can't.
Why not just have him stay in Omashu and break into the prison while in Omashu?
Yeah.
How did he get back in?
In and out of the city is insane.
Did he walk through the gates?
And it was insane with Zuko.
Okay, but did he, with that Earthbender tribe, with that group, the battalion he was with, did he walk in with them and nobody was like, hey, that kid's not, we don't know you. There's 8 people in that squadron. You know what I mean? It's not like he was in like an army of 1,000. He infiltrates a group of 8. And somehow
I thought he just went in by himself.
And what those earthbenders just didn't notice that one of them is gone? Yeah. There's 8 of, you know what I mean? Like, it's stuff like that where I'm like, this is trying to play at the narrative level of the animation where things are a little bit more loosey-goosey because it's animation and we forgive it. We forgive cartoons for having plots that are a little bit less thought out.
Because they have that vibe to them and there's not a fucking genocide to kick off the whole thing.
But because the tone of the show is a little bit more mature, when the plot is not...
When it's silly like that.
You're sitting there like...
Your suspension of disbelief is immediately like... It is tougher to ask the audience to buy into stuff like that when the other stuff is so serious. And like I said, the stuff in this episode is great, but the setup that the show has done for this episode is where its weakest points were highlighted.
Like, Zuko literally just ended last episode going out the gates. And then just immediately assaulted an Earth. Why not just stay? Like, you know, like why is he doing what he's doing? Is such an important question. Not what are they doing? Mm-hmm. And I think that this show could use a little bit more, why are these characters doing what they're doing?
Yeah, for sure.
And not, oh fuck, we have to get to the forest that kind of looks like Jet's forest, so they're just going to be in a forest for some reason.
Yeah, I know. I would like to see more of that. But
I think the show overall, has a much better episode. I'm grateful. I'm grateful that I enjoyed that because episode 3 stuff.
Yeah.
If you like this video, like and subscribe to the channel. If you don't, hit the dislike button. Leave me comments down below because the algorithm god is hungry and oh boy, we must feed her. This episode, that algorithm goddess is Katarra.
Hell yeah.
And you know what? We were reticent to give it to her last episode, but this episode I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm hopeful this is headed in the right direction. If you want to follow us on the internet, you can. I'm at Nerdy Nightly.
I'm at Clara's Polaris.
That's right, she is. If I don't know, do something nerdy tonight.
Bye.
Hey, bye. Leave. Get out.